Welcome to the e-sources about the topic of energy and its crisis. I am S. Naguldeo, working as an assistant professor, Department of Chemical Engineering, Hindustan College of Engineering and Technology. So, what is an energy and its crisis? Okay, so before going to the energy, we should know what are the causes of your energy crisis. The first point is the overconsumption. So, as we know that today, day by day, the price of the fuel is increasing day by day because of the usage of vehicles. So the energy crisis is a result of many different strains on our natural resources, not just one. So there is a strain on fossil fuels such as oil, gas, and coal due to overconsumption, which in then turn can put a strain on our water and oxygen resources by causing a pollution. The second crisis is overpopulation. So as we know that day by day the vehicle has been increasing. So similarly, this is because due to our overpopulation and because it has been a steady increase in the world's populations and it demands for fuels and products. And third will be your poor infrastructure. So aging the infrastructure of a power generating equipment is yet another reason for energy storage. So most of the energy producing firms keeps on using the outdated equipment that restricts the production of energy. So what we are doing here is what's the problem in our country is so the equipment which has been established long year ago, so that will be the maintaining today itself. So when we go for the maintenance of that equipment deeply, so the infrastructure will be very poor. For example, for our power generator, if we go for the power generation, old power generation, the infrastructure will be very poor. Due to this, there will be a loss of energy because of this reason. The next will be your unexplored renewable energy options. So renewable energy still remains unused in most of the countries. So what is the meaning of this point? Because see the fuels, the fossil fuels which we are using day by day is a non-renewable energy and but why we can't go for renewable energy? So that we are using the renewable energy, but that is very less percentage of using. So unless we give renewable energy a serious thought, the problem of energy crisis cannot be solved. Renewable energy source can reduce our dependence on fossil fuels and also has to reduce greenhouse emissions. So this is a very important matter that usage of renewable energy will be very efficient for the energy crisis. And the next one, delay in commissioning of the power plant. So what is the meaning of the delay in commissioning of the power plant is we have very less number of the power plant in our country. So if we increase the power plant, then definitely the crisis of energy will be very less. But what we are doing, we are not taking any step regarding over the new power generation plant. So this is the reason. The result is that old plants comes under huge stress to meet the daily demand for coal. So here what happens? We have the minimum number of plant, or we have the very minimum number of plants, but the usage of energy is increasing day by day. So what happened due to this? So the demand for the energy will be increasing day by day, and the same plant will get very stressed, and it will not supply doesn't it will not just match the demand. So it will be having the load, heavy load, and finally it will break down, and it will be the loss of energy here. And wastage of energy in most parts of the world, people do not realize the importance of conservation of energy. So here we are also having the plays a vital role. For example, we are living in our home. When we go outside our room, we didn't switch off the fans or lights. So what happens? There will be a wastage of energy. So we are the responsible person for the wastage of energy. And one thing remember very clearly that today, if we waste the energy, tomorrow our generation will be the suffering. So I request everyone to don't go prepare your energy compact. Uh, Study about the energy and don't waste your energy even a small thing. So whatever we can do based upon the energy, so we have to do that so that tomorrow our generation will be living very happily. The next, poor distribution system. So frequent tripping and breaking down as a result of a poor distribution system. Next one, major accidents and natural calamities like earthquake, flood, volcano. So due to this, the loss of energy will be very heavy, and wars and attacks, then miscellaneous factors. So these are the main reasons for the energy crisis in India. The next, will be mainly focusing on the global energy scene. So nine of these scenarios have been analyzed within the current EM data. The majority of the scenario has a time horizon of 2050. The other delivery result until 2100 and 2035. So the table once gives you over the scenario analyzed and the general framework. So I have given the table which shows you the global energy with the origin, drivers, constants, and dissemination. For example, if you go for IPCC emission scenarios, in the 2100 origins, the population and GDP prices will be the drivers for these IPCC emission scenarios. And the constant will be the policies, emissions, technology, and extent. And the dissemination will be the report, online report, and scenario. So these are the types of the global energy where we have to be focused on. The ETP stands for the Energy Technology Perspectives 2010 shows opportunities for both secure and sustainable energy future. And this scenario can be investigated by using the blue map scenario. So, for example, so this is a blue map scenario where we have the natural gas like coal, oil, nuclear, hydro, biomass, and waste, and others. So this blue map represents how much of the fossil fuels we are using. So this represents the coal. We are using the coal very heavily compared to the other oils. And this is another graph which indicates the CCS, renewable nucleus and power generation efficiency, which fuel switching up to 5% and the end use fuel switching up to 15%. So these color indicates these types of parameters. And the policy assumption define the framework of the storyline where the scenario storyline and heavy impact on energy prices, technology development, etc. So the key policies assumptions are different for world regions with the three main scenarios. So this table shows the current policy scenario, what the world is having, and what is the new policy scenario that they have been implementing with comparing with the 450 scenarios. For example, if you go for the United States, so the current policy scenario is a state level support schemes for renewable enhanced CF standards to credit for renewable energy sources. And what they are going for the new policy in the future that shadow price of the carbon adopted from the 2015 affecting investment decisions in power generations. New HTV stands for each other from 2014 to 2018. And comparing with the 450 scenario, a 17% reduction in CO2 emissions compared with 2005 by 2020. So this is the main target. They are just comparing the 2005 in 2020, the emissions of the carbon dioxide will be very less. And this is a general Indian energy scene where the number of years shows your population with how much of the energy they are consuming for production, for import, and how much of the energy we are supplying for the electricity, and how much amount of megaton the carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide emissions or carbon dioxide emissions are emitting from this type. So these are the fuels which are very commonly used for our domestic purposes or for day-to-day life. So we have a coal, oil and natural gas. And when comparing to your oil and natural gas, see, so nearly 1 crore tons liquefied petroleum gas was consumed during April to September 2019. So April to 2009, see the scenario, April to September 2019, within 6 months, we are using the domestic sector mainly for cooking only. And the number of domestic connections are 274 million with a circulation of more than 40 crores. So what this shows that we are using only the non-renewable energy in our day-to-day life. Only few percentage, for example, only 20% of renewable energies only are used in our day-to-day life. So see, India is the second largest consumer of LPG globally, and most of the LPG requirement is imported. Piping city was supplied in India is not yet developed on major scale. And when compared to our India, when based on in India, it's the second largest consumer of LPG. This LPG is a non-renewable energy source, and these LPG requirement is imported, not having a proper piping system also. So when we talk about the renewable energy sources, these will be play a vital role: biomass, charcoal, biofuel. But the percentage of usage of the percentage only 20% of the households in India use biomass and charcoal for cooking purposes, as LPG used for cooking purposes is rising rapidly. Even we are having the renewable energies like biomass, charcoal and biofuel, but we are using only LPG only. So only the percentage is very less. See, the total biomass used in India is nearly 177 megaton in the year 2019 and nearly 75 crore tons of non-edible biomass available annually in India, which can be for higher valuation without carbon dioxide emission. So the main objective for using our renewable energy is the carbon dioxide emission. We can neglect or we can reduce the carbon dioxide emissions by using our renewable energy sources. And last one will be the biofuels, which India imports 80%, 5% of the petrol product with an import cost of $55 billion in 2021. And India has set a target of blending 20% ethanol in petrol by 2025, resulting in an import substitution saving of US $4 billion or 30,000 crore. And India provides financial assistance for manufacturing ethanol from rice, wheat, etc. So our India is working on the biofuels, and most probably in 2025 it may reach or it may overtake, maybe it may overtake the petrol and diesel. So now the percentage is 20 percentage, but we are 85% of petrol products with an import cost of $55 billion. So when compared with after 5 to 10 years, definitely biofuel will play a vital role, and it will overtake the petrol or diesel. So this is a general overview of your energy crisis, what India is facing and what global is facing of that. So what is the main objective here is, we are also the responsible of the crisis of the energy what we are facing today. So I kindly request everyone to get a impact, to get a compact with the energy, and study about the energy savings, and give an importance for the energy by doing small things only. Not only we have no, we cannot support the India with a big achievements or with a big goals, but we can support India, or we can support ourselves by giving a small amount of references. Like suppose if you are in a room, or if you are in some public places, so or if you are in some working places, small things like switch off your fan, switch off your light when it is not in use. So these small things can make the energy crisis slowly down the rapidly. So we are the responsible person for the everything. So if today if we save the energy, or today if we works on the energy pattern, definitely our future will be very happy. So kindly work on that. So hope this session will be useful for you. So thank you, and thank you for your patience. Thank you very much.